Some people will tell you that things like Jefferson curls are not great for the low back or the back in general. But I think that a little bit of context is required when talking about things that we should be doing with our back. I'm Coach Rich Thurman, and I'm here at Kauno SF in San Francisco, California, where I train most of my personal training clients. And we're going to talk about things you should be doing with your back in order to strengthen and improve your spinal and back health. Before we get started, make sure you smash the subscribe button so you never miss a post from me again. The very first thing that we should talk about when training the back is that Jefferson curls and things like that are not appropriate for everyone. And it's also not an entry point or the starting point for everyone. These require a lot of context. Sometimes we say don't do this or don't do that, and we scare people into not training themselves and getting stronger. The very first thing that I like to do is help people understand their spine and understand their back first. And I think that it's important that we bring awareness to tissue before we start loading it. So the very first thing I'll do with clients is have them in a position of quadruped and have them move through a global flexion and extension. This is a simple way to get people to understand how their body moves. And as a coach, you can look and you can see how their spine moves. Does it move in chunks? Does it move freely? Are there certain spots that seem to be a little sticky or that seem to not move at all? Then the second thing I will do is I will help them learn about their spine a little bit more by asking them to segment. So I might have them in quadruped once again, and I'll have them try and get as much flexion as they can. So bringing that belt buckle to the face, rounding, and then I'll have them untuck slowly, of course going 1 mile per hour, but I'm going to go fast here for you. And I'm going to have them slowly segment all the way up until they reach their cervical spine. And then I'm going to have them do that from the bottom, trying to tuck under, and just feel what they feel. Help them understand and help them bring awareness to how their spine moves before you start loading the spine and doing things like that. The very next thing I might do is I might have them load the spine in different ways with their own body weight or just positions. So I might have someone stand, for example, and I might have them bring the hands across the chest, and I may have them come into a hinge. Now that they're in this hinge position, I will have them go through their segmentation here. So I'll have them round through the bottom of their spine, bringing the belt buckle towards the face, and bring the shoulders towards the pelvis. And then I'll have them untuck at the bottom, work their way up into extension. I might also change the position of that hinge so that they're not at maybe a 45-degree angle, and I may have them come all the way down until they're almost parallel, and then see if they can move through that. Flex, and then extend through that space. These are all just great ways and great inputs to start getting people to understand their spine and understand what they should be feeling there. It's a great input that doesn't require any load, and it gives them an opportunity to experience this more frequently, and they can do it anywhere. I think that too often we speak in absolutes when it comes to training things like the spine, and I think that oftentimes when we see things like Jefferson curls, they're done with very experienced people, and those people have been training their spines and their tissues for a long time. That may not be the right point for someone to enter into training their spine and training their back, but it is a point along the continuum of training that we should be seeking to be able to get to. Because if there was one thing I could give you, it would be a healthy, strong spine. Please remember that this is not medical advice. This is a way of me helping you understand a little bit more about training your back and your spine, and not being a fear monger as to what you should and shouldn't do with your back. If you like this video, please smash the like button, drop a comment below, and share it with somebody who needs some spine love.